Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. I'm James McGowan.
Hi, I'm Jessica Faust.
We are literary agents who have taken our popular blog to YouTube to discuss all things publishing. And if you watched last week's video, you're probably ready to watch this one. We are talking about the 5 times to contact an agent after querying. Yeah, I think 5 is pretty much it.
I think we're being generous.
Maybe, yeah. Well, we got a lot of questions from querying authors, particularly in the comments, about when should we contact that agent.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd rally up all the reasons we can think of about why you should be contacting that agent and when you should do it.
Yep. I like it.
So we'll just run through them. The first one is to follow up on a query or submission status. So we don't mean like you send the query and next week you follow up. Every agent on their website should have a general space where they're talking about the submission guidelines for how long it takes for them to read queries, when they respond to queries, if they respond to queries, and how long it takes them to read submissions if they had requested your manuscript or other materials. So you should be following those for each specific agent. I think when in doubt, 8 to 12 weeks for a query and a manuscript. I would just give for both 8 to 12 weeks for a query and a manuscript.
Yeah. And if you're keeping the spreadsheets that we've talked about in a previous video, you should have the guidelines down for any agent that you can find, which should be on their website. So if you have a few agents who don't have those posted, you can just generally look at what the average is and go with that.
If you are Excel savvy, you can set up a formula for exact dates. So if you send a query on January 1st, your Excel sheet can say follow up on April 1st.
Damn, you're
That's
good.
if you're really good at what you're doing.
Yeah. And also, as per another previous video, if you use Query Tracker, they have a pretty good tracking system that you can use as well. I would also say give the agent an extra week. So if mine is, 12 weeks for submissions, then I would say give it 13, 14, because for me, so it's about me right now, let's be honest.
Right.
There's nothing worse than reading over the weekend and then on Monday getting the check-in and sending the pass, because it makes it look like your check-in created the pass, which never happens.
Yeah.
But I don't like when it looks that way, so it's about me in that case. But anyway, I would give the agent an extra week or so after that and then follow up.
Yes, I agree for sure.
One more thing to that. On the no response means no, which I know a lot of authors feel trapped by. Give them the same time limit that you're giving everybody else. And instead of following up in that case, you can just mark it as a pass, because you would assume in that time limit, the no response means no.
Yeah. And if they're running a little late and they're interested, they'll get in touch with you. But at least you're giving yourself some sort of mental closure, right?
Yeah, that's all about you, authors, all about you.
Right. That's it. So the second reason that you should be checking in or emailing or contacting that agent is if there are major revisions to the text and they've already made a request. Yes. So what I mean by that is if you send a query and then you make major revisions to your manuscript, we don't typically need to know that.
Don't need to know.
Right. Presumably your concept is staying the same, therefore your query will probably do the trick. But if we've requested the book and it's in our reading queue, and then you've gone ahead and received feedback from somewhere else or just had an epiphany and you completely rewrite that book, or you do major revisions to the book, then get in touch with us. If you've gone in and swapped out a chapter that maybe didn't need to be there, or changed some typos, or we usually don't need that unless you think it's crucial and substantial.
Yeah. And I think by major, it really is like a new book. In many ways, it's going to be a new book that's what we consider a major revision, where you're like, this book is not the same as the one they have. It's not just, I changed the character's name or, and usually I would say it was based on a revise and resubmit, because remember from previous videos, I'm all about the previous videos today, that once you start submitting and querying, you should be working on your next book and no longer polishing this book. So I would assume these revisions are because another professional came forward and said, I want a major revision here.
Right. Yeah. So keyword, and major revisions and the request.
And.
Yes. The third reason is if you receive an offer of representation. So if another agent has read your book, loved your book, got you on the phone, gushed about said book, and wants to be your agent, it is standard protocol to alert the agents that are considering, to give them an allotted time and ask them to consider the book and get back to you by a deadline on whether they would want to throw their hat in the ring to represent you. We have so many videos, again, all about the previous videos, so many videos on how to handle an offer of representation, from how to set the timeline, how to contact people, what questions to ask, all of that. That's not what this video is for. So please find those and watch them if you haven't already. But it is standard to send that email to agents who have your manuscript or your query and let them know that you have an offer of representation.
And one thing I want to add, this is for you. It's not for the agent. I think there are a lot of authors who are going to be in the weeds and frustrated, and a few of them will pop up in our comments, but they can't complain about the sound anymore. And they'll say that, well, why should we give the agents the benefit if they're so slow to reply or whatever, because what we're trying to ensure for you is that you're not just accepting work with any agent, that you're accepting the work with the agent that you feel is the best partner for you in your career.
Keep an eye out for a future video. Apparently this is what we're doing today. I didn't realize all 3 videos we're filming today are so linked, but we are talking about this in another video.
Yes.
So keep an eye out in the coming weeks.
Yeah, but that really is for you. But yes, you want to contact the agent at that point.
Yes. Okay, so this can often get missed. So now you've got all of these agents who have offered you rep or maybe haven't responded yet, and you decide, I'm going with Jessica Faust, she's going to be my agent. You accept that offer of rep. Don't forget to alert all the other people who maybe hadn't responded to you or maybe were considering, if they just completely
unless there are no response needs now, then you don't have to respond to them. But go on.
And the people who have offered rep particularly, or who have gotten on the phone with you or have shown you some level of time, not the people who have already passed, the ones that are still in contention, let them know that you've accepted that offer of rep. This way that agent can, again, have the closure on their end, can get things off their desk, can know for certainty that you've not gone with them. They don't have to read it. They don't have to do any more work on it. It's a courtesy that says, hey, thank you for everything. I'm going elsewhere. Thank you for your time.
And again, this can be for you.
Yeah.
Because you may be on the agent search again at another time for whatever given reason. And it's all about networking and keeping your name in front of these agents, and also saying to them, hey, I went with somebody else, but you know what it says sort of subliminally is maybe you'll want to buy my book when it's out. So keep that in mind too. Agents buy a lot of books.
Yeah. And it's just the kind thing to do.
I'm going to dig a little deeper here than we probably need to, because it is in other videos. Yeah. For both of these things, when you receive an offer of rep, you do not have to contact every single agent who has your work. If you have a top 5 list, you can contact just the top 5. And then when you accept the offer, you can alert those top 5 that you've accepted one of them. And you can alert everybody else who still has it that, thank you for reading, but I've gone ahead and accepted an offer of representation, so I'm withdrawing my manuscript.
Yeah.
You don't have to give every agent a chance, primarily because you just don't have to. But also, if you already know that someone who has your book is not the right fit for you, then why are you putting them through the hoops of reading it and offering when you already know you have your top 3 either offering or reading and considering? So I think keep in mind, again, I know sometimes it sounds like we're doing this to make our lives easier, which we are, but also in truth, it makes your life easier if you're not now having to have conversations with 10 agents when you only wanted to talk to 5 anyway.
Yeah, I agree. You're only confusing yourself and making the decision harder for you. So you can be selective on who you alert, but show everyone the courtesy of letting them know.
Perfect.
Okay, controversial one, but the last one is to say thank you. I think it's perfectly okay to say thank you. I know some agents don't want the extra messages, but I think it's totally fine if someone sends you a rejection or request something, just to say thank you. I think it's okay to do that. I know a lot of people have that battle of like, they don't want more emails from us, but I want to say thank you. I think it's okay.
I think it's totally fine. I mean, really, anybody who gets angry about a thank you. I mean,
right, not the person you want to work with.
You don't have to. If you just want to move on, that is fine.
Yeah.
But if there's something that compels you that you really want to say thank you, then go ahead. If that's just who you are, go ahead and do it.
I agree. Yeah. So I think those are really the only 5 times you would have to contact an agent while querying. They're usually almost always prompted by something else. I don't think, you have to email them out of the blue, or just follow up every week. You don't have to do any of that. So stick to these 5, put them on a little post-it when you're querying, and make sure you do them, but make sure you don't go overboard anywhere else. So we hope that was helpful. If you're querying, good luck. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can catch all of our great tips, and we'll see you back here next time.
Bye.